Good evening, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live, and I wanted just to kind of give you guys a quick update. Um, Situation in Ukraine is getting worse. I got a message today from a good friend over in Georgia who wrote me and said that military equipment in Europe is being rushed into Ukraine. She also shared with me that the Union Pacific and the BNSF railroad crews have all been called in to start loading and moving tanks, artillery, and armored personnel carriers and other heavy armor from Fort Bliss and other southern bases, and from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, to the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean ports for shipment to Europe. So the situation clearly is going to end up heading to war. As I mentioned to you already, Putin had said to Biden he'd had enough. And he said that he was going to prepare for war. So if we end up in a war, especially with Russia, that's going to be a devastation to the U.S. economy. In fact, that could be what actually collapses our economy. So the situation is very dire in Europe, but it doesn't have to be. If somebody could put a leash on Biden, it would help stop a war that doesn't need to take place. And then at the same time, though, because of the escalation that's going on with Biden in Russia, and President Putin there, makes me wonder if this isn't the reason why Israel is working around the clock trying to turn El Al aircraft into tankers where they can refuel in flight, because they're planning on going to war with Iran. So we might have kind of like a situation of Russia and the U.S. kind of go at it over Ukraine. That would help distract the U.S. from helping Israel, because they'll be too busy with a war with Russia, which would give Iran the perfect opportunity to fight with Israel. Not that Iran would strike first. I kind of really find that far-fetched. But it's going to give Israel the opportunity to know that the U.S. is so busy that they can strike Iran. That's what I'm being told anyway, right out of Israel, that Israel is planning on being the one to strike Iran. So this is where we are right now. Of course, I'm stuck here in Florida right now, and I do appreciate all your prayers. My father-in-law he's still in very serious condition. I'll just tell you that. I would even say borderline critical. But it's been a tremendous heartache for my wife, because her father, she lost her mother about 18 years ago, and her mother was still young, and now her father, even though he's 80, he was in tremendously good condition. He was a man that, 80 years old, that was tending a 3-acre farm all on his own, and then suddenly he went down very rapidly. Multiple issues. Found out that his kidneys were failing, then went from kidney failure to getting very sick, to a possible, I'll just say this way, an attempt on his life that caused his throat to swell up massively. And that could have been, like there again, I don't want to say, I'll just kind of leave that alone for right now. But so he's dealing with multiple issues there, and we've gotten him over several of those issues, but only to come up with more complications, more problems. So he's fighting for his life, and it's very sad to see. But at the same time, I'm very optimistic. His doctors are optimistic, and not only that, I certainly believe in the power of Jesus Christ. I believe in the power of prayer. We have certainly prayed extremely sincerely for him. Speaking of praying for him. If you have not watched the video that I did that was inspired by just the night I was praying for him, I'm trying to pull that up right now so I can kind of remind you what the name of it is. Oxygen is toxic for fallen angels. You need to see that video. It's kind of a combination of a multitude of things, but the Lord was revealing to me why his oxygen was being robbed from him. What is Satan's purpose to take your oxygen away from you? Because he wants your soul. He wants your life. So it's a kind of a deep message, and it's very difficult to bring that out. And then, oh goodness, okay, I see what it is now. And then another one, I'm going to make it relisted again. Part 1, Exposing the Lies. That's with Jim Thorpe. I'll just say it like that, Jim Thorpe. Don't want to go into too much other details because you know how that goes. You give the enemy a little bit of rope right there, and they're going to come after you, boy, that's for sure. So, at any rate, God bless you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support of our work we do here. And our website is IsraeliNewsLive.org. We're still here in Florida, and we may be here through Christmas. I hate to say it, you know. Our younger children realize that this time of year is going to be completely different for altogether. It's tough. It's very tough. So, anyway, thank you for your prayers once again. God bless you and good evening.